Recently, a serious allegation has emerged involving Jay-Z, prompting widespread discussion and controversy across the media. This new lawsuit, filed just a few days ago, has not only implicated the hip-hop mogul, but also reignited scrutiny of his past connections and relationships. With fans and critics weighing in from all sides, the situation has grown increasingly complex. Today, we're going to unpack everything: the allegations, Jay-Z's response, and the many theories circulating among fans and observers. So buckle up as we delve into this multifaceted case. Now, where did it all start? It all began on December 8th, when an amended lawsuit targeting Sean P. Diddy Combs added Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, as a defendant. For context, Sean Combs has been at the center of a legal firestorm for the past year, facing a wave of allegations that include sexual assault, physical threats, and other crimes dating back decades. The lawsuit alleges that Combs and Carter were involved in the assault of a 13-year-old girl at an after-party following the Video Music Awards in 2000. According to the accuser, identified as Jane Doe, she was offered a drink at the party and began feeling disoriented soon after. She wandered into a bedroom where she claims she was followed by Carter and then Combs, who allegedly assaulted her. After hitting Combs and fleeing the room, the young girl reportedly called her father from a nearby gas station. The lawsuit also reveals unsettling details about how she arrived at the party, including claims that a driver who worked for Diddy targeted her specifically because she fit what Diddy was looking for, and required her to sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, to enter the event. However, she never received a copy of the NDA. The amended lawsuit also accuses Jay-Z of orchestrating an extortionate campaign against Jane Doe and her legal team when they attempted to address the allegations privately. Instead of cooperating, Jay-Z allegedly filed what they call a frivolous countersuit and engaged in harassment and intimidation tactics aimed at silencing the accuser and her lawyers. These claims have sparked heated debates and divided public opinion. Why now after all these years, though? One significant factor fueling this wave of lawsuits is New York's recent extension of its statute of limitations for sexual assault cases. The look-back window allows survivors to file lawsuits for crimes that occurred years, even decades ago. This legal change has opened the floodgates for cases against high-profile figures, particularly in the entertainment industry. It's also why lawsuits against figures like Diddy have been emerging at a rapid pace. Many are questioning whether this legal change will lead to justice or simply result in a chaotic flurry of unsubstantiated claims. New York's Adult Survivors Act, enacted to provide a limited 2-year window for survivors of sexual assault to file claims regardless of when the incident occurred, has been pivotal. Advocates for survivors have hailed it as a landmark opportunity for justice, especially for individuals who face systemic barriers in reporting their cases earlier. However, detractors argue that the retroactive nature of this legislation might invite frivolous lawsuits, exploiting the gray areas of memory and evidence over time. In the context of the entertainment industry, this legal change has been a game-changer. High-profile figures with decades-long careers now face scrutiny for their past actions, and the industry's culture of silence is being exposed like never before. Celebrities like Diddy and now Jay-Z are being named in lawsuits that might never have seen the light of day under the old statute of limitations. Tony Busby, the attorney behind Jane Doe's lawsuit, has been vocal about representing numerous victims of high-profile individuals. Earlier this year, he announced that he was handling cases for 120 victims, promising that more big names would be revealed. This aligns with the current allegations against Jay-Z and raises questions about whether these lawsuits are part of a broader campaign to hold celebrities accountable or a calculated strategy targeting wealthy figures. Busby's aggressive tactics, such as holding press conferences and making bold public statements, have drawn both praise and criticism. While some view him as a champion for survivors, others see his approach as overly theatrical and self-serving. Moreover, the timing of these lawsuits is critical. The wave of cases filed under the Adult Survivors Act suggests a coordinated effort among legal teams to maximize the impact of this legal window. This has led to a broader conversation about whether such efforts prioritize justice or capitalize on public outrage. For individuals like Jay-Z who maintain their innocence, the situation becomes even more complex, as they must navigate both legal challenges and the court of public opinion. And how did Jay-Z respond to this? Jay-Z wasted no time addressing the allegations. On the same day the lawsuit was amended to include his name, he issued a detailed statement via Twitter, accusing Busby of extortion and denying the claims. In his statement, Jay-Z asserted that Busby's demand letter, an attempt to settle the matter privately, was a form of blackmail designed to exploit public scrutiny. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. Jay-Z's statement read, "What he calculated was that the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you were in a very public fashion." Jay-Z went on to challenge the credibility of the allegations, urging Busby to file criminal charges if the claims were true. He framed the demand for a private settlement as an affront to justice and vowed to fight the lawsuit head-on. While some fans praised his direct and impassioned response, others criticized it as overly defensive and evasive, noting that he never explicitly stated that he didn't commit the alleged assault. The statement also included a deeply personal note about the toll the allegations have taken on his family. Jay-Z expressed frustration that his children would now have to confront these claims, calling it a loss of innocence for them. However, this sentiment sparked debate online, with some interpreting it as a strategic attempt to garner sympathy. What makes Jay-Z's response particularly noteworthy is the tone and format of his statement. Unlike the carefully curated public relations statements typical of high-profile individuals, Jay-Z's message seemed raw and direct, almost as if it were written by him personally rather than his legal team. This has led to contrasting interpretations. Supporters believe it reflects authenticity, while critics argue it might be a calculated move to appear relatable and genuine in the face of serious allegations. Furthermore, Jay-Z's legal strategy has been proactive. Beyond issuing a public denial, his team has filed motions to dismiss the lawsuit on grounds of insufficient evidence and procedural missteps. They have also demanded that Jane Doe reveal her identity, arguing that anonymity prevents a fair defense and allows unverified claims to damage reputations without accountability. This move, while legally permissible, has drawn criticism from victim advocacy groups who argue that anonymity is crucial for survivors of sexual assault to come forward without fear of retaliation or public scrutiny. Jay-Z's public response also included a broader critique of what he perceives as a growing trend of targeting celebrities for financial gain. "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" This statement not only challenges the validity of the claims, but also places pressure on the legal team representing Jane Doe to escalate the matter beyond a civil suit. Critics have pointed out that such rhetoric can sometimes be interpreted as victim blaming, suggesting that the accuser's choice to pursue civil action undermines their credibility. Finally, Jay-Z emphasized his commitment to fighting the allegations not just for his own reputation, but to set a precedent for how celebrities navigate such claims. "I have seen your kind many times over," he wrote, addressing Busby directly. "I am more than prepared to deal with your type. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I am not from your world." This statement, while defiant, has been polarizing. Some view it as a strong stance against what Jay-Z perceives as exploitation, while others see it as unnecessarily combative and dismissive of the gravity of the accusations. Jay-Z's response also included subtle nods to his background and values, such as referencing his upbringing in Brooklyn and the code of honor he claims to live by. By invoking his roots and aligning himself with a narrative of resilience and integrity, Jay-Z appears to be appealing to his core fan base and reinforcing his image as a self-made mogul who values family and justice. Whether this strategy will resonate with the public or backfire remains to be seen as the case develops. Tony Busby's legal approach has not been without controversy. Known for his high-profile cases against major corporations and celebrities, Busby has developed a reputation as both a tenacious advocate for victims and a polarizing figure in the legal world. In response to Jay-Z's allegations of extortion, Busby has steadfastly defended his methods, arguing that his actions were entirely within the bounds of ethical legal practice. In a public statement, Busby asserted, "No one has made any threats. The letter sent to Jay-Z's team was a standard demand letter seeking resolution through mediation, a common step in cases of this nature." He emphasized that the goal was to provide an opportunity for a confidential resolution rather than dragging the matter into the public eye. According to Busby, the letter was vetted by his legal team and approved by Jane Doe herself, reflecting her preference to avoid the emotional toll of a public lawsuit. However, Jay-Z's legal team has painted a starkly different picture. They claim the letter was an attempt to coerce a settlement by leveraging the threat of public backlash. This framing has turned the spotlight onto Busby's broader legal strategy, which often involves high-profile announcements and media engagement. For example, his decision to hold a press conference when filing lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs and to suggest that more big names would follow was met with mixed reactions. While some praised him for shining a light on systemic issues, others accused him of grandstanding. Busby's approach has also raised questions about the balance between advocacy and self-promotion. Critics argue that his penchant for public theatrics can overshadow the seriousness of the cases he handles, potentially undermining the credibility of his clients' claims. On the other hand, supporters contend that his bold tactics are necessary to challenge powerful figures who might otherwise evade accountability. One of the most contentious aspects of Busby's response has been his framing of Jay-Z's counterclaims as an attempt to intimidate both him and Jane Doe. "What you are seeing is a coordinated effort to focus attention on me rather than the allegations," Busby stated in a recent interview. "This is a classic tactic used by those in positions of power to deflect and distract.